Welcome to ASCENT. Today we have a message from the Divine Masculine. This message is being delivered through our ancestors, through our guides. There's some other force that wants to deliver this, so I've pulled out the runes, which you guys know I don't really pull out too frequently anymore. They're pretty intense for me. So if you're ready for this, go ahead and have a chill pill here. Let's see what the message is. What is the Divine Masculine struggling with? Divine Feminine, I'm having a little bit of trouble standing firm in my masculinity. Why? Because the idea of being a protector, it feels foreign to me. Now, this is interesting. Why would that feel foreign? Hold on. Oh. Are you serious? Wands, Pentacles. Because they have not yet achieved the goals behind, the inspiration. This. Okay. Pause. Why are we getting this message? Why is this is Divine Feminine, can I ask you a question? What would make your DM in particular think that they're not good enough for you if you have never said that to them? What would make them think that you would not see them as enough where they are now? Some of you know that it's something up with them. For the most part in my tribe, we shouldn't have this problem. But I got a feeling some people are watching right now that are like, "Oh, Grace, well, see, I had what had happened, There is a sense within this Divine Masculine, whether this is an individual or part of the collective, that this is not an evenly yoked relationship, that we are not the same, that we will never be the same. That who am I to protect you? How could I protect you when I have not even begun to stand in my purpose? Why does that matter to them so much? Because I know in my relationship, and I know in many of yours, I've talked to you, so I know you're out there. You have told them numerous times that they are amazing as they are, that you love them as they are. Hold on, pause. Why did I just get a real clear answer that said that's the problem? We have been getting messages from the Divine Masculine Collective lately that they did not like how many of us allowed them to treat us in their previous energy. Grace, what? You said what? I said that they didn't like how we didn't say to them, who you talking to? What you mean? That's not how I'm going to be treated around here. No, I'm not just going to take crumbs, as much as that's what in the moment they wanted. In the moment they wanted you to give them whatever you was going to give them. But now they're looking back. Well, there's so much happening here. Let's keep pulling. Okay. So the Divine Masculine is having trouble standing in their masculinity because they cannot see themselves being this protection specifically. Their protection in their mind, being able to protect you, is equal to them being able to provide for you. Now, back in the day, provide and protect were two things that went hand in hand, yes, but were still different. Whereas now, in our society, especially because a lot of women work, right? So, and again, not every DMDF is going to be male, female anyways. So many Divine Feminines, many of you may be earning higher income, have more education, or even just on a spiritual level, come across as more savvy or competent than they do feel. And for some reason, they're looking at you Yo, why would the ancestors need to miss? They're looking at you and saying, this whole thing of us being equals I don't feel it. I don't feel that way. I don't see it as possible. And in a way, a part of it is related to the divine feminine, maybe speaking on those things, but in another way, it's related to the divine feminine saying and doing things inadvertently that made them look at you and think, well, if you're not ready, then what am I ready for? And if I'm looking at you like you're so amazing, and then you're telling me that you're not even that amazing, then I must be worse than I even thought. I know that sounds crazy, but some of you are like, oh my gosh, Grace, that's exactly how my divine masculine is. Knowing that, I think that there's something really important coming through here. So, okay, so we're getting the message here that we needed to understand that there is something happening within the counterparts where on one side, both need to step up so both can step up. But on the other side, both need to let the other feel safe, which also requires a little bit of easing up. This is a challenge, so I can understand now why we're having to come through this way. What's the next message? What are we supposed to do about that? And you know what? I think that is probably one of the main problems that twin flames have is sometimes doing what's going to be right for the relationship will equally be wrong for the relationship. And it's like, why is it so complicated? So I know that there are some of you right now who are like, Grace, every single oxymoron and paradox you've said since you started this, yup, that's us. Okay. All right. Okay. Please. I feel like this is such a common message, so I'm not understanding. Is there something that we don't understand? Are we missing something here? This is the 0. This is the new beginning. They're not. Okay, let me confirm that. Sword, confidence. Okay, it's true. They're not going to feel able to do this until the new beginning. This is the oxymoron. Oh, it's so funny. We're talking about paradox. That's the paradox of the relationship, isn't it? So many of you already know this, don't you? So many of you know. Oh, and this is also talking about why so many of you are afraid to start your light work, because that same paradox is there as well. If you start your light work and you start your, really, really walking down your path as a twin flame, you're going to inevitably feel like you're getting farther and farther away from your DM if you believe they're not moving forward, if you believe they're not awakening. So many are afraid to walk down the path to go any further because they don't want to get any farther away from the person that they already feel this distance with, right? Well, in the same way, this person says, how could I provide and protect for you? I'm nothing. I'm no one. I'm a nobody. I don't have any inspiration, or I just found it. I don't have any wealth, or I'm just finding this opportunity or this meaning for my life. I'm not going to be ready until I'm ready. But it's like when millennials graduated and it was like, you need this many years of experience, but you need the job to get the experience. So you can't have the experience because you can't get the job, but you can't. You remember that? Remember that, guys? Okay. Why are we talking about this? Hold on, one more. Oh, interesting. This is about our peace. Finding our peace when the answer is no. What is this? What is this? This is the passion. This is about light work. And look. That cancels it out. Okay. Again, oxymoron, right? No. Am I saying oxymoron, right? Paradox. Whatever. Grace, just freaking go. You have this peace, but you have this passion. And when you think about a peaceful person versus a passionate person, you might see two different people, but then you know that they're like, okay, Jesus is a great example, right? Where everyone thinks of him as like the lamb. But then when they see the story of him flipping a table over and being like, get out of my father's house. You ain't in here doing what you think you do. I know you ain't in here. I'm finna flip this whole table. And it's like, what? And it was like, yeah, Jesus was very peaceful, but you know what? He was pretty passionate about what he was passionate about. And I get this sense here that we're learning that there can be more to a situation, to a person, to anything than what meets the eye. We're learning that the things we think are required might only be the surface level stuff, and there's more underneath. We think that in this dynamic, we need to be together. As divine feminines, that's how we see it. As divine masculines, I think we need to be apart. We have all these just oppositions. This is battle energy. But I think the real truth, the place that we're going to end up finding our peace, is if we can let go of what happens when we don't get our way, when things don't turn out the way we thought, when we feel like we're being pushed in a direction that we want to say no to. I think this is about learning to go with the flow in a way that we never have before. And it's really hard to do that when everything is pointing you in multiple directions, at the very least in opposite directions. So, divine feminine, you need to get on your light work. You also need to start moving in silence. Real G's move in silence like lasagna. And if you don't know what that's from, I forgive you. By moving in silence, you will become the inspiration your divine counterpart needs most. I'm sorry because I feel like there are some of you, even I right now, I'm kind of like, well, I'm not exactly the silent type, you know? And it's like, I know. But there are things that you need to be doing right now to move things forward, to move yourself forward, to move your own life forward, that very much will be intimidating to your divine counterpart. But there's also a place you need to get to that is going to inspire them in ways that nothing else will. Because they do see themselves in you. They do know that you guys have a connection. They are aware that there's something weird going on here. And in the midst of it, in the midst of the fear, if we try to just talk about it, it's real easy to just turn it down and say, nah, that's not me. I don't have anything to do with that. I don't know what you're talking about. But that's a different conversation later when it's already done. And they walk into the house you've already built. And they're like, wow, you did it. How'd you do this? And they're more open to, and they're more receptive than, come on, we can do this together. Da 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 da. So that's your first paradox. You need to move farther away from the divine masculine on the journey in order to get closer to them. The other paradox is being okay being told no because you know it's really a yes. Every single thing that's happening on this journey is really a yes. With every no that you get, there's a good no that follows. So I think what your masculine wanted to reach out to you through, and it's funny because I kind of get the sense of like a tattletale. I'm not trying to be mean to DMs here, but I get the sense of a divine masculine who went and, cried a little bit and then tugged on big grandmama's skirt. And grandmama, you be mean to me. And she said, I know, can you please? Baby, I'm going to go talk to her. And then our ancestors come through and they're like, now, baby, listen. I understand that it feels very paradoxical what you're experiencing right now. But if you don't do what I say you're going to do, you're going to get to pick your own switch in about 20 minutes, okay? Okay, baby. Grandmama love you. That's what we're getting right now. We're getting the conversation that says, your person is equally, oppositely you. Okay? They are as much you and as much not you as you can be. And it doesn't make any sense, and yet you get it. I know you get it. Knowing that is the truth, you have to understand that if you're trying to rely upon them being ready, them saying yes, they're never gonna be ready. They're never gonna say yes. Not in their own normal, just run of the mill day-to-day life looking the way that they've been living. And no, none of this normalcy. It's going to be in the moments, in just like that moment you met, the moment you locked eyes, that first kiss, whatever. It's just like, whoa, it came out of nowhere and it felt so right. And it was just, that's how twin flame moments really work. I have to admit that even all the moments I have had with Mr. Lightwork that haven't exactly been like fairy tale movie moments are still, wow. And I think that your DM came through having Big Mama Universe on the loudspeaker saying, hey, you got to forgive him. Okay. He's doing some things that are real backwards and real silly, but don't worry. 'Cause even they don't get the same treatment that the rest of the world does, just like you. Their no's are also yeses, just like you. The decisions and the stupid things that they do, very different than the stupid things you do, but you guys all do we all do stupid things. You know what I mean? So while you're looking at this from your awakened space, thinking, DM, you're perfect as you are, and just comment. You're never going to convince them. They're never going to see through your eyes. They are not you. They are your twin. They are the one person in this world who could have literally lived the exact same life as you and still would have been different. Because that's the nature of being a twin. You want to be your own. That's why God made you two instead of one. God could have just made you one individual person, given you a high-level soulmate. You could have had your light worker mission and been living your life. Twin flames have that special, paradoxical, that person in their life who is everything they need and everything they don't want, but probably still need, okay? So ask yourself, on this quest for the new beginning, have you found that your confidence is starting to falter because the divine masculine's confidence isn't there? If that's the case, that's on you, not on them. They were never supposed to be your confidence. Have you found that even though they clearly recognize you as someone special or important, that they still struggle with understanding what that really means or doing something about it? Understand it has never been about you, ever. It has always been something going on inside of them that makes them, they could literally tell themselves, I'm looking in the mirror at this person right now, and still say, nah, never mind, just kidding. They cannot connect with that truth because when they look at you, they don't see themselves. Not when they're doing it in a good way. When they look at you, they see, I wish that I knew how to put it into words. I, even in a channeled love letter, usually end up crying when I find the DM trying to get it out. You know what I mean? Get the words, please. And I'm like, I don't know why you don't know the words. How am I supposed to know the word? So don't expect them to be what a, feminine romance novelist would write. Expect them to be everything you're not. Expect them to be on the other side of the spectrum, and with good reason, because it is going to be a blessing in the long run. But in the meantime, your job is to maintain as much confidence as possible, move forward and as far towards the end goal as you can. So there is something that you're going to do that is going to enrage and infuriate them and inspire them all the same. Your divine masculines in many cases will end up being a little bit envious or jealous, just a tiny bit, not in an unhealthy way, but in a way that makes them go, am I jealous right now? In a way that makes them go, ugh, I feel like I'm being a little petty. Ugh, I don't like this. It's enough to make them realize there's something special about you, enough to make them realize it's creating a rise in them, not enough to make them evil and petty. That your real DM will never do some of the stuff that people who you think are your DM has done. So that's another story, okay? Do your best to trust that even if they come about and you find that they are more at peace than you would like them to be, if you find that they are not as much in what you believe their masculine should look like as you would think, trust that there is a lot going on underneath the surface, just like there is with you, and that they are moving towards you, even though they might appear to be moving away. That is the nature of this dynamic. I think for many of you, this wasn't even a message from your DM directly, but you needed to be reminded of the paradoxical nature of the twin flame dynamic and how so many things can feel like they're all pointing in the wrong direction and then just work when they shouldn't, or just flow when there's nowhere to go, and yet it does. It works. So whether it's, hey, your DM needs you to know they're still struggling to find their confidence in their truth, or whether this is just your ancestors, guides, God, source, spirit, universe saying, hey, listen, there are going to be ups and downs in this, including in you, inside of you, and you don't ever have to feel bad about that, okay? All right, okay. I'm gonna go. I gotta go. I love you guys. Yeah, I love you. And I know that this journey isn't always easy, but I also know that it is worth it, and that even on the hard days, there is something so beautiful. There's something so beautiful about what it brings out of us. So if this reading, this rune reading made you feel surprisingly at peace, surprisingly comforted, it's probably because you've been feeling a little bit alone and maybe even doubting yourself, and you shouldn't. If this reading made you feel more frustrated, I think that maybe you need to work through a little bit of those emotions, because you don't want to bring those to your DM knowing that they have this lack of confidence in who they are. And if you found that you were right in the middle, I don't ever want you to give yourself a hard time for going back and forth. And I don't ever want you to find, when you look in the mirror, that, you're the cause of this lack of trust in your divine masculine. There's so much more to it than anything you've said or done or not said, or, just do your very best to step forward, all of you. Do your very best to walk towards your light work, towards your legacy. Go watch those reunion manifestation videos. I have some coachings that I offered of some of my just most basic but really powerful activities and exercises that I did while I was in separation, while I was struggling through my dynamic with Mr. Lightwork, while I was questioning things, and they worked. And if you want my help and you're willing to do those and you want more, let me know. I would be happy to share things. God blesses me to come up with things on the spot in the instant that they're needed. So I got you. But if you're not willing to do the work, if you're not willing to go the distance, you need to ask yourself if you really are a twin flame. I'm not talking about those of you who say, oh, I'm tired today. No, I'm talking about those of you who say, I don't want to be a light worker. I don't know what I'm supposed to do, and I don't care. If you're there, this twin flame thing is going to tear you apart, and it's probably not for you. So if you are ready, you need to ask yourself the moment you wake up in the morning, who can I help today? Who can I bless today other than me? Who can I pray for today other than my DM? Who can I be present with today? And if you can start moving like that, you don't need a big ministry. You don't need to start a channel or an orphanage or something. You can just be light right where you are. Okay? I need all of you to come to terms with the fact that we are twin flames, therefore we are light workers. And understand that everything you do to help your divine masculine get better, to everything you do to help your constituents, the people that you came to serve, everything you do raises the collective vibration. Everything you do creates more peace and more good in this world. So whether you're going to look at it and say, this is helping me get closer to my goals, or maybe for you, you're like, Grace, I don't even care enough about myself right now for that to matter. Cool. Then say, I'm doing this every day to help as many people as I can not feel how I feel. Whatever you need to do to motivate yourself, you get there. Okay. I need you to get there, because every day you aren't doing your job, I have to pick up your slack. And your sister has to pick up your slack. And your brother has to pick up your slack. And we love you, but we are tired because only you can do your job like you can do it. We can half-ass your work for you, but only you can do what you were sent here for. So step into it, because your DM, your guides, your ancestors, everyone is counting on you to be who you're supposed to be here. And the beautiful thing about purpose is it doesn't really take as much effort as pretending, as assimilating, as conforming. It takes so much less effort to just be yourself. And that's all you're supposed to do as a light worker. Everything else that you're meant to do with it will follow, I promise. But start small, start today, start somewhere, okay? All right, I'm for real, I'm leaving. I love you. wait, I'm live. But me, this is me. No, well, wait, no, that's me. This is me. I'm a strategist. This is my site. This is d5great.com. This is my website. I mean, no, that's an email right there at Gmail. Okay, all right, I love you. Merry Christmas. Ain't no Christmas. Merry Christmas. I scared Rico. Stop it. Okay, bye.